This meeting is being recorded.
Spring break, and I am ultra blessed having my kids here. That is one of the weirdest toys I've ever seen, Rich, and I don't want to know what you and Kate do with that. I'm just kidding. I know. Nice. Look, they're getting all fucking hippie on us and stuff. Check them out. Julio's green. Veronica's almost starting to become normal. And Rich and Kate have 6-foot sex toys. So, I guess that was our session for today. That was weird. What else need be said after that? Oh, shit. Is that a bunny or an aardvark? What is that? Okay, today's just going to be weird. All right. I can handle this. It's a pig. Okay, that's a relief. No damn bunnies on our sessions. Pigs are fine. So we've been at this long enough now, even those of you that are new to this craziness, and this is your first program, we've been at this long enough now. Everybody's had some stuff move. Everybody's had some, what the hell is this? Oh, show. There we go. Okay, so I was on my walk this morning and I had an idea come through about something we could address today. Now, being that I never know what's going to happen, which is why I get to find out what's actually happening, unlike most people who know what's going to happen. You know, I had no idea how this program would go. Every other program that I've ever done, every one of them, there has been, way back, I used to call them unstickings. And then over the last couple of years, they became much more sexy, spell breaks. And in this one, it's been almost exclusively my start of the show monologue and then group spell breaks. They've been fucking amazing too. Like, damn. All right, I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm about to get a hug. Watch out, everybody. Yeah.
See you in a minute.
She actually messaged me and told me when I get home I'm gonna hug you. So yeah, I knew it. And you know, these last few sessions, if you guys ain't surprised, you ain't paying attention. It's been off the fucking chain. You know, I wonder if, for everybody's sake, and then like I look at Carol, who's been a psychologist. That means crazy. She's been a psychologist for decades, you know, and I think of what it must be like for someone like her to be watching this shit. What the fuck is that? And I think about somebody like Renita, that before she found me was living in cornfields for 50 years, and she's still living in cornfields. Not that that's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm just saying, you know, and had pushed all of her nature girl stuff way far away. And as a result and reflection of that, was carrying around like 70 pounds that weren't her. So we might just start the question. And look at green Giulio, you know, in Italy. This shit don't get this weird in Italy. That's why he came to Hawaii, and that's why he's like, oh, what? I was like, there's no shit this weird. There's some weird shit, but not this weird in Italy. So, something we could do today if we wanted to, something we might do, is start out this session curious about what I might still, up until this moment, be carrying that ain't me. You know. What might I be carrying that ain't me? What might I decide to lay down today and let it be either what it is or turn back into infinite possibilities today? Right, GLC? Maybe, right? And poor Annie over in Africa, she's like, no, there is nothing that's fucking weird, even remotely in Africa. Look at Rosemary. I don't know how she tolerates it. She's like, there is nothing. This is the weirdest shit. And I did keep coming back. So today, what could I lay down? What have I been still carrying up until today that I'm completely oblivious to, have no clue? What have I been carrying up until today that ain't me? And is there any possibility that it's been charging me some price, that thing I've been carrying? Like, did it have perhaps weight? And I didn't know why everything was so fucking heavy. So, it's okay. So, have you ever looked at a woman or been one? And have you ever looked at a woman, perhaps yourself, and had an inkling, had some sense that you actually really were looking at the goddess personified in front of you? Has that ever happened? Has it? Like, you realize that's not a fucking person. And like her holes, orifices are actually portals, like, to non-physical dimensions. Have you ever looked at a woman and thought that, noticed that, seen that? You ever? I'm not the only weird motherfucker here, so don't be looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. We're weird in different ways. Anybody ever looked at a man and first of all, like, believed it was a man, and then thought, wait, everybody has all these ideas, and I got all these ideas from all these people with all these fucking ideas, but I don't actually know. That might actually be God disguised. But maybe he's not disguised. Maybe there is no disguise. Maybe it's only my perception causing me to see it this way. Now, I'm not saying for 1 minute that there's such a thing as a man or a woman, or a zer, or a zim, or a zing zang, or a whatever motherfucking pronoun somebody values most. Couldn't care less. I think it's cute, those who do actually care. Oh. Those of you that ain't on video, I trust that you will be soon. Finish those last 3 or 4 candy bars. Put out the joint. Or in the other way around, doesn't matter. So, I've been watching your comments in the group. I've been listening. I'm here with you. I heard some of the things you're interested in help with. Now I'm going to start addressing it by reminding you that the answer is presence. That's right, I'm talking to you. The answer is presence. If you're fully, completely present, the odds of you popping a pill is extremely low. Except for those new presence pills. Have you had one of those? If you're present, the odds of you being offended by what he keeps saying to you drops like whoosh, almost to nothing. Everybody check in. Relax your shoulders. Yes, I was talking to you. Notice that. Notice that. Do it again. Do it again. Let another wave go. Neck and shoulders. Let that shit go. Whatever the fuck that was that you were trying to, like, I don't know, protect yourself from, or whatever you were carrying on there. I'm definitely not going to name anybody, Samantha. You know I love you, girl. You know I do. Anybody ever glad for how I'm actually watching you and listening to you and tuning in? Anybody ever glad about that? I bet I wouldn't land as close to home as much if I wasn't, checking y'all out, right? Yeah. Okay, so as I move towards this thing, I may invite some people to verbally, or chat's always welcome. And I see, Rich. I may invite some conversation today, and I do have something that almost never happens. I was on my walk. I was like, ooh, there's one to do as a group thing that's going to affect everybody profoundly. Just on the way towards it, I want to touch on a couple things. Okay. I've had a few people comment or private message me. Oh, Brian, you're making those political comments. I understand that they appear to be political to you. I get it. I totally get it. The first thing that I invite you to notice, if you see me making a political post, the first thing I want to encourage you to notice is that you perceive it to be something worthy of noticing or commenting on. Why is he doing that? Thought he was dead. If he really knew, he wouldn't do that, because he's obviously trying to. And it's not one or two people, it's a few. I understand completely. Everybody relax. Let's add an intention into our intention. Let's start right this very minute. Everybody close your eyes and breathe for just a few seconds, and I want you to try this one on. You ready? Ready? Let everything that I've learned and unlearned, everything that I've reallowed and everything I've allowed to turn back into infinite possibilities, let it all be alive right now in this session. I'm not starting over. I'm actually here now, standing on top of all those previous sessions. Got it? Ooh, that makes a difference. Oh, fuck, I forgot those previous. I thought we were just supposed to come on and, do whatever. Yeah. Let those sessions were for a reason. So here we are now. All right. So open your eyes. Tune in with me here. When you see someone doing something and you're concerned about why they might be doing it, first thing to notice would be that you're noticing something. And if you notice something, you're giving your attention to it. Now that's really deep and profound. Oh, who knew that, right? Wow, Brian, you're smart. No, everybody fucking knows that. But did you ever think about it? Did you ever think about that if you notice something, you're noticing something, that means something caught your attention. It's always worth asking why. Is that standing out to me at all? Ah. Why does she always, you know, that one, I wonder why she always, but did you notice who was thinking that? It wasn't her. It was you. Relax your shoulders and your arms and your neck again. One more level of, one more, present and curious. Yeah, thank you. Present and curious and open. That's how you actually notice things and can become aware beyond them. I've had a few people in my world recently who, in addition to being concerned about my political posts, what my motivations might be, when I am the opposite of political, well, then why do you make a fucking post? Well, probably so you'll be curious. That might be part of it. Let me let you in on a real secret here. We've been so shallow in this program so far. I'm gonna go deep for a minute here. Ready? Most of the time, unlike you, I don't have any fucking idea why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, when you think about how weird that is, let me ask you something. How do you feel when it's all said and done? When you look back at what you did and what your reasons for, how often does that work out the way you really wanted it to in the first place? Might be worth contemplating. Ooh. Did that question land for anybody? And did what I say land at all? I know I'm being very intentionally vague right now, very purposefully. I'm not bringing out my laser aimer thing, not at all. A little bit of that. Unlike you, most of the time, I have no fucking idea why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know so much more than I. I know less every day. I know less every week. And I trust more than ever. You know that old question that a lot of people ask, who am I? You ever heard spiritual teachers ask the question, who am I? Keep asking it. Yeah? Yeah? You ever done it for more than 3 seconds? Here's the thing. Don't take my word for this, please. But I don't believe that asking who am I is so you can find out who you are. I don't think so. I think many people do think that, especially when they hear gurus say, ask who you are. And I mean, I've heard Deepak Chopra talk about like literally asking it constantly for days. I did like a 10-day high level thing with him probably 12 years ago or something like that. And right now someone's going, wait, he's talking against Deepak. No, I'm not talking for or against Deepak at all. I was just saying, I've heard many gurus in Toltec wisdom. There's a huge emphasis on that question, who am I? I'm going to tell you what, my sense is that the reason for asking who am I with presence is ultimately to find out you ain't a fucking who. Where am I? The fuck is that? Here. But where's here? Yeah, I don't know. And if you think you do, you are going to be fucked completely. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? That question makes no fucking sense. I'm sure as hell not who I thought me was. Some of us found that out a couple weeks ago, didn't we? To some extent, that whole me thing. Nobody waiting for the good shit. Right? It's present now. So, let's see who has. I know Rich is going to be first because his hand went up. He was like, fuck, I'm not going to wait for Brian to ask anything. I'm just going to let him know. That's cool. So you can unmute Rich. I just want everybody to check in and see if you really have a question. Check in and see if you really have a question. And I'm just going to open that up, and then we'll move into the main theme that I feel today. And I almost bet that whatever it is you say will lead right into the theme because, you know, here we are. So what you got, Rich?
Well, my question is, how does one let someone they're talking to know that you're not attacking them or they have no reason to feel defensive, whether or not they're level 5, and to easily do that? And then when you are, attempting level 5 or living level 5 more than ever, and how can I
Thank you.
respond differently, quicker, or notice it faster? If
All right, the answer is presence. Next question. I'm just kidding, but I'm not.
Right, I do get that.
All right, so this is kind of interesting, as it should be. There's a lot in what you just asked, obviously, and there's a lot of backstory that you didn't give, and there's a whole lot of, I get it. Everybody else got it too, right? Everybody got it because everybody has that question to some extent. Does anybody let's I don't mind being wrong. Does anybody not understand the question, or does anybody just not have that question at all in yourself? I don't see any hands. Okay. Universal shit. Okay. So what I find, one of the things I find very interesting about what you just said is that when I was contemplating the few examples that I was going to start with without pulling out my laser pointer, just here's this, here's this, here's this, I left the third one out. And now with that, I'm going to say it. I've noticed people making assumptions about my intentions. Now that's always been going on. I'm noticing it in a different way now as I'm more present, ever more present. As I am quieter, as I'm ever more in tune with my own intentions, because I'm going to let you in on a secret. I don't mean any offense. And you don't have to take this if you don't want to. I'm talking to you. Much of the time, you have no fucking idea about your unconscious intentions You very often don't know when you say something and someone says, well, why are you attacking me? And you're like, no, I'm not. And you didn't even know that you were. You didn't even know the criticism that was running inside of you when you didn't even know that you were secretly, even to yourself, actually poking them in the fucking ribs while pretending you weren't. So as an example, I'm going to go deep with this. When I was little, so my dad was an incredibly superior, arrogant asshole to basically everyone. It was in his family, at his work, in every situation. He knew everything and nobody knew everything. I mean, it was funny. People would drive past him and he would remark on how unbelievably fucking stupid they were. So we all were just like, man, he got to be the smartest person in the world. He said it. Of course, he didn't exactly say it. He just implied it by putting everyone else down. He could evaluate their driving technique in colorful ways as on the road. Things like that. And so I noticed through my teens and 20s and 30s, and goddamn, it went on for a while, as I was desperately trying to learn how to be someone who had friends, I would notice everybody thought I was arrogant and superior. I was like, I don't think that at all. And as I would attempt to explain it, they would be more sure than ever.
Yeah. As I'm trying to say, you're not this, that kind of thing. You're not
right.
That.
That's right. So everybody, as you, Annie, Randy, Rex, Ramla, as you think about the conversations you've had that didn't work, you know, the ones that it's kind of like the other one that I had with that other person. Now what's happening here? What the fuck is this? And then it's like they misunderstand, and then you attempt to help them to understand, and they are even more sure of what they misunderstood. You're like, no, but you don't understand me. And then it's easy to become frustrated and confused, yeah? Well, for me, this shit went on and on and on and on and on and on. And it was like really one of the most devastatingly, crushingly painful aspects of my life as I saw it then. And I began to search. You know, here's the thing. I was right. I was right. God damn it. I was fucking right. They were wrong. And you know what that'll get you? Just making sure now, because I'm going deep and I'm going to go a little deeper. I just want to make sure that this is valuable to more than just Rich, right? Is this landing for anybody know conversations that ain't been working and connections that ain't been okay. Just making sure. Those of you who don't see it as relevant, I just got to ask you, are you breathing? Because you might want to check in. Often I'm not checking to make sure this is actually valuable. I'm checking to make sure that you realize and that you're aware, present to the potential value. So what I advocate is presence, surprisingly. And presence applied to this topic, here's what it looks like. Can you ask the question, how is this me, when you're sure it's them?
Yeah, I do.
Notice that, Hilton, whatever that is, notice that, whatever that was. Just be curious. Can you ask the question, how is this me, when you're absolutely positive that it's them? Can you do it anyway? Can you ask, how is this me? Will you?
When I'm present.
You see value in it. Okay, now here's the trick. Can you ask, how is this me? Without including any traces of what's wrong with me or how did I fuck up? That landing for you, Rosemary? See, we have running inside of us, each in our own unique psychopathic way. Things like, I need people. And even more clever things like, people need me. And when we need people and people need us, we got all this need, we got all these attachments and all these hooks latching into and onto everyone. And old hooks latched into people that some of whom aren't even in their bodies anymore. We still have the hooks. There's just not that much of us here to be able to navigate this shit. The image that I used to use, everybody breathing deep? Are you breathing deep? The image I used to use was feeling like I was in a tornado, infinitely bigger than me, throwing me around all over the fucking place. And some of what I really, 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 really wanted and needed was flying around in the tornado with me. And that was a problem. That was a challenge. That was a difficulty and a pain for me. Infinitely bigger was that the other shit that I wanted and needed was spinning around in other fucking tornadoes that would get near me and then far away. And I could... None of you have ever felt like your life was totally out of control, though, so you probably can't really relate to that image that I'm speaking of. I understand. How'd you know I was looking at you? So, when one feels like some of what they need and want is in a tornado swirling around them and they have, I just got out of reach again. And other shit that they want and need is in other tornadoes that come close and then far away, all spinning at maddeningly dizzy, crazy fucking rates. One doesn't necessarily feel fully empowered and safe and stable. And when I tell you how severely that was my life, like I was either furiously furious or I was depressingly depressed. And I just ran between those two extremes all the time. So now, check me out today and just see if there's a difference. And if you see a difference, you're like, well, I don't know what you're like at home. You're probably an asshole. You could ask Dev or the kids. Or you could just feel me now if you want to. It's $20 per touch in 3-second increments. Incorrigible, I know. So, presence is the answer first and foremost, Rich. And a really powerful way. I know you've been working on this for a while. You specifically and you listening have probably done some of this. Let me tell you the straight line to move through this about as efficiently and effectively as I believe is probably possible in a human body. Radical forgiveness worksheets on the person with whom you're having the issue, or the person with whom you perceive you're having the issue. That is a powerful tool. Number 2, radical self-forgiveness radical self-forgiveness worksheets on any issue that comes up for you. When you just think about them, it's like, well, you know what? If I felt guilty about anything, if I felt wrong about anything, what would it be? Just do it on the fly. Next, really contemplate the issue that you think you're having with that person. Look at some of what you said with them. Next time you have a conversation with them, record the conversation and then do your best to forget that you're recording it. Do your best. Look at what you actually said. If you wrote something to a person and they come back to you with that kind of thing, take a look at it and look at what they're accusing you of and just say, is there any trace of truth in what they're saying? So this question of how is it me? I was saying phrases that my dad had said that I was completely unconscious of. And probably much more so, even all the time I was, and even later, as I began to notice those phrases, notice things I was saying, notice things I was doing that might carry that air of superiority or arrogance or whatever. I became aware that I was most likely having facial expressions that I was completely unconscious of. Do you know anybody who does that thing where it looks like a rat died in their mouth? You know? I don't know about you, but I don't get warm and fuzzies when I see that on someone's face, especially if it appears to be aimed at me. So is it possible, Rich, that you picked up any of your dad's shitty attitude? You know? It's possible. And I don't really mean it's a shitty attitude. I'm saying it on purpose with the spikes so that we can look at it. Is there any possibility that sometimes when I say something completely loving with the purest intentions, that I might be unaware of some anger that's still inside of me? Is it possible that I might have actually found the way to say it lovingly, hold my face with a kind, loving, goofy, and yet they're still sensitive to the fact that there's anger in me that I might not even be aware of? Is that possibility? Is that a possibility? It is. Now we land on the magic of this. We're all one. People can sense our disdain and our arrogance and our sense of superiority and our, I'm obviously right and you're not, but I'm trying to be polite about it. People can notice that even when we're not aware of it, even when we're denying it. Those of us, flip the coin over for a minute, those of us who, you know, doormats, you know, I'm the doormat. I'm the one whose feelings don't really matter. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. You can have the whole thing. It's fine. Others can see and feel our doormatness, even when we're hiding it and denying it. If you find yourself being used a lot and treated unfairly, it's actually quite possible that you're asking for it. Don't tell the Me Too people that, because they'll want to cut my nuts off and then crucify me and then burn me. And then take the ashes and chop them in little pieces and burn them again. I knew it. If I ever say castrate, if I ever use that one, Dev always goes, no, don't even say that. I saw you reach for the keyboard. Like, here it comes. And Andrea just typed in a moment ago, or 2 or 3 or whatever. I don't know. It's all me. I'm the only one here. Now, there you have it. Everybody's cells in everybody's body. Do you honestly think your liver doesn't know when your spleen is having a bad day? All right, so go for it, Andrea. I'm still working with Rich, and you're Rich anyway, so it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay. What I meant to add to this is that saying that to myself all the time throughout the day has helped me so much to deal with people, to deal with situations. When I start to feel anger come up, anger or fear or sadness, I ask myself, how is this me? And it's all me anyways. That person in front of me that I feel angry about is me anyway. So how is this me? How have I created this? And that has helped me so much to stop myself and not go further into the anger and say, and think, whoa, let's just have a look at this. You know, like as in a neutral position. So.
Beautiful. Thank you, Andrea. And with that, I can add a little icing to that cake, which is when it all is said and done, it comes to that final point of how can I, part of it, Rich, is that you want to make them see. You want to make them see something. Check in when it's all said and done, when you boil this down to the essence, ask yourself this question: is there anything I would like for them to see? Yeah, go for it.
It's more, how can I answer questions that are being asked to me in a level 5 manner when someone is already being triggered by me talking to them, or not even by me talking to them. They seem to be triggered, and then me.
You're not gonna. You're not gonna. So what do you want? So now here it is again. So what do you want them to see?
That I'm not trying to attack them.
So there was something you wanted them to see. And not only did you not know there was something you wanted them to see, you were pretty sure there wasn't anything you wanted them to see.
No.
So now take a minute to let that in. I wanted them to see that I wasn't attacking them. Now, you probably got a couple of semi-conscious reasons about why you're pretty sure what your reason was for wanting them to see that. And there's probably some very unconscious reasons why you want them to see it. And they're probably resisting your unconscious reasons for wanting them to see it. So if you get down in yourself, the roots of the roots of the roots of the roots, underneath the roots, at the root of the roots, or whatever. Why do you want them to know that you're not attacking? Suki.
To achieve the peace that I prefer.
Say again?
To achieve the peace that I prefer.
Will you fill that with water, please, honey? Thank you. All right. Nope. I'm not almost done, babe. Not yet. Okay. So. We're into something that's so freaking deep right here. Does anybody, be honest now, does anybody have any sense that we're actually in something This is universal for one thing. You might not have the exact motivation Rich has, but just dig in anyway, okay? And find out what this is. A couple comments that just come in. Don't go read them. Just stay right here with me. I'll read them and address them in a minute. So Rich, I'm gonna mess with you for just a minute here. So close your eyes and feel the one who believes that he's not going to be able to experience that peace unless he makes them see it. So, oh no, honey, thank you, baby. Oh, I just wanted it filled with water and left in the sink. Yeah, so that it doesn't get sticky. Thank you, honey. The one who thinks, well, I'll be able to have peace if I can make them see that I'm not attacking it. I know there's more to it than that. However, listen, when we want something, when you want something, so you just try this one on. When I want something, you ready? When I want something.
When I want something.
All right, don't say this one out loud. I want everybody to just do this within themselves. When I want something, and look at it and feel it. When I want something and I have any part of it that I'm unaware that there's a part of it that I don't want, I'm going to feel frustrated. Get that? When there's something I want and there's something that's a part of it, whether in reality or in my perception, when I want something and in my perception or reality, there's a part of it that I don't want, I'm going to feel frustrated. So that would lead to a very high probability of rearranging that sentence. If I'm feeling frustrated, there's probably something that I want that also there's parts of it that I actually don't want. Another thing is when I want something and I believe that in order to experience it, I'm going to have to endure something I don't want, I'm going to resist getting the thing that I want. We've had examples of that in this program already, so just look at it with curiosity. When there's something I want, and there's aspects of it that I either don't want or parts of it that I think I don't want, or I believe that in order to get what I want, I'm going to have to endure or deal with something I don't want, even if that's unconscious, I'm going to resist it. If I want to lose weight, but I know secretly in the back of my mind that if I lose that weight, I'm going to be visually attractive to men and they're going to try that shit on me again, I'm not going to let myself lose weight. When I want to let more money in, but I know that more money means more stress and drama, I am going to resist that money. And I'd love to have a great relationship, but I secretly remember in the back of my mind, while I'm denying it, while I'm pretending that I don't, I would love to have a great relationship, but I don't want to deal with some asshole guy. Oh, I would love to have some absolutely amazing sex, but I'd have to deal with some crazy fucking bitch that wanted to talk or something. I don't want to have to do that. Oh, I so honor those who can laugh at that. Of course, I honor those of you that feel pissed off when I say it too. Don't worry about it. Now, let me ask a question. Everybody tuning in deep here. There are people on this call right now who just absolutely hate to be asked questions. Sometimes by certain people, right? Right? Let's be honest. Some of you just got that looking, I hate, ooh. And Tara Shea said a couple minutes ago, oh, how lucky to even be asked questions rather than endure assumptions. Those who hate asking questions would much rather have people assume about them. I'm just saying. So, you know that grass is always greener? One is not luckier than the other. One is not better or more desirable to the other. It's just depending on what you've been getting. All right. Tracy said, I do realize these things, but I do realize these things, but Tracy, you either disappeared or you walked away. It'd be great if you're hearing me. Of course, we could just kind of talk about it for a minute if she's not there. If I'm fast, she might not even hear this. So she said, what I'm finding is, oh, she's on here. It's that kind of reddish looking couch, Dev. What I'm finding is there's a lot more stuck emotion than I realize. And the intensity of the emotions coming up as I'm learning more and more to allow them shows me how much practice I need to do. I hear comments like that quite a bit. Breathing, Rich? I'm still with you here, dude. And whatever follows this is going to land right where it lands for you. So,
my leg is cramping up.
Yay.
Feel it.
Excellent.
Feel it.
Totally. So while you're feeling your leg and you're really tuning into it and not pushing past it, just really diving into it, unless it's really ultra private, who is the main person right now that you are noticing that perceives you're attacking them, or is it a theme in your life, or both?
Oh, it's not really a theme. It's I'll notice people come to me for answers to a lot of different things because they see how differently I'm living my life lately than a lot of other people have. And they'll come to me emotionally charged already and asking questions and not wanting to hear the answers I give them.
And that has not been a theme in your life.
With women in my life, it has been a theme, but not generally with other people in my life because I used to be on the same level as them. I used to be a level 1 through 4. And now I answer questions more level 5. And some people don't really take that all that well. And some take it as an attack, that I'm attacking their character. And I'm wondering how to quickly diffuse that and let them know that I'm not attacking them.
All right. That would be a super easy thing for me to answer. I just don't think that's the real question. And what's interesting, there were a couple people nodding as you were talking. They're like, "Oh, I can relate to that one." Okay. So let me tap a couple places around there. Number one, if there wasn't something coming from you, they wouldn't get triggered at all. However, that doesn't make you completely responsible for everything. Okay. They also have traumatic experiences in their life that triggerable, right? So what might be, well, no, what one of the things that will work for you is to really be so present when someone asks that you can sense whether they want an answer or not. And another subtle, equally subtle point is you can be present enough to hear what's behind the question they asked. Just make sure you're not assuming. Make sure you're present and hearing what's behind it. And something you can always do is say, all right, I hear you. What I hear you asking me is this. Did I get it pretty accurate? If they say no, they're going to clarify. Now, I'm going to tell you something, okay? Everybody here probably knows that I am something of a fucking ninja at communication. Okay? This is just the truth. I didn't used to be. And I've always had the roots of being a ninja at communication, and ultimately so does everybody. Not everyone will do it like me. That's for damn sure. However, there are some things that work and there are some things that don't work. Just for example, while someone's asking their questions, like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard. That just generally doesn't work. Like you for gross obviousness, right? That's not the way to do it. Having them while they're asking, looking at them and going, generally is not like, so I'm being silly and I'm not, I'm really being like, sure, there's gross things that obviously won't work. Now, as we get into more and more subtlety though, here's a couple things that'll work. And when I say work, they will help create more of the experience you want to have. So one of them is to rephrase their question back to them and say, what I heard you asking is this, am I fairly accurate? And if they give you a no, they clarify it for me. If they give you a yes, that you pretty much got it. Say, okay, I'd like to ask before I answer. I'm sure you have a reason for asking. Do you mind sharing what it is? I'm sure you have a reason for asking. Do you mind sharing what it is? It'll help me to answer you more effectively. Now, you see immediately, that smile on your face tells me that you can see immediately how the answer they give you to that question will give you way more to go on as to how to respond and address what they're saying to you. Yeah? Okay. You know, sometimes people ask us questions because they want to fight, but they don't know it. Sometimes people ask us questions because they want to feel irritated with us. Sometimes people ask us questions and they don't have a fucking clue why they ask the question. So, Rich, what would be different if you were to meet this person with, I feel sure that you have a reason for asking me. Do you mind sharing with me what your reason is? What would you like to get out of this? If you were to say that, what would be different?
They may no longer ask the question.
That is one very possible outcome. They, in line with what Andrea just wrote, and adding my own little mix in here, they're going to see that you're actually listening. Is there any possibility that some of the ways you've answered before didn't demonstrate that you were really listening?
Possible.
Possible. You know, when someone asks a question and we meet them with anything that looks like a ready-made response. Oh, wait, let me check my box of responses. What did they ask? Oh, here it is. And Dev just made a valid point here. So this approach that I'm giving you of asking them a couple questions about their question gives you an opportunity to create more space for yourself. Like, wait, let me, you're not reacting with an answer. So I you know what? I feel like I just landed on it right there. How much of the time when someone has asked me a question, have I actually reacted with an answer rather than acting or fully responding with total presence to them and the situation and what I would like for the outcome to be? Because if you've ever been proud that you had the answer, if you've ever been excited that you had the answer, if you've ever been, yay, I have the answer, they're not going to feel heard and seen and met. I trust everybody has situations in their lives where this is relevant. Conversations. Bottom line on this topic, you know that peace that you want to have after you've let them know that you're not attacking them, et cetera, et cetera? If you started from that peace, none of this would happen. So wanting to get the peace after the fact might not lead the most rapidly to what it is that you're actually wanting here. So here's a question for everybody to just ask right now. Why is it that I meet all of my conversations with peace from the start? And it might be beneficial for us to take a moment to say, what have I been choosing other than peace in my conversations? Have I been choosing to show, I know the answer? Have I been choosing an opportunity to win? Have I been choosing the upper hand? Have I been choosing an opportunity to finally be heard? Have I been choosing a battle? Now, this is one of those things that when you're watching the replay, I'm going to make a high recommendation here. Pick 3 or 4 or 5 of the people closest to you. You've been having conversations that have not led to more of what you want. Write them down, write their names down, maybe write down what a couple of the topics have been about, and bring awareness and presence. What have been the outcomes in some of those, so that you can just look at it with presence and consciousness for probably the first time. And then ask those questions. What have I been choosing? What was I? It doesn't look like I was choosing peace. Now that I look at it from here, maybe I wanted peace, and maybe some little inner child in me actually just desperately wanted to show how smart I was. And I was completely unaware of it. That kind of inquiry, aiming the light of your consciousness into an area where you've been so masterfully hiding from yourself, understandably. What if everybody that you have difficulty communicating with, what if it's actually 100% you? Now, right now, this is where 70% of the people go, oh, He's obviously talking to them because he doesn't know this asshole I'm dealing with. Definitely not me.
It is only very, very intermittent. Like, literally, maybe 4 people in my life have ever called me an asshole, because I'm usually very, very easygoing and good to get along with. It's just every once in a while, questions come up and maybe they don't need to be answered. Maybe I should ask right back. But it's a very intermittent thing.
It was enough for you to ask. It was enough for you to ask.
Yeah.
And okay, so just stay with it. Stay curious, Rich. Okay? Stay curious. That's all. All right, so Deanna, this is so on point for me. This happened to me this week. Happened for me this week, Deanna. I offered answers. They were so not ready or awake to hear what I told them. It's made me feel as though I can't trust myself. Now, Deanna, that's not true. You already feel that you don't trust yourself, and you're creating these circumstances so that you can feel the not trusting yourself. And how do you feel when you don't trust yourself? Angry, sad, or scared. Dig deep into that. I can't trust myself not to alienate people. Always trying to prove myself. Now, there's the essence. Trying to prove myself. In some way, trying to prove something, trying to prove I'm not arrogant, trying to prove that I'm superior, trying to prove that I'm as smart as they are, trying to prove that I actually know something, trying to prove that I have value. And when I was asking that, like, what have my motivations been? Andrea said maybe that I wanted something for them they didn't want. And there's been a lot of that. And if we knew, okay, Deanna just said that I'm smart. That is so huge. I see Anasi. I know I forgot to breathe and be present at that moment. Exactly. So in all these situations, listen, when we're trying to prove something, we're not present. Got it? When we're trying to prove anything, we're not present. So let's add that to our question mix. What was I trying to prove? Now, if you'll look at the last few conversations that didn't work, if you look at any themes of conversations in your life that didn't work, and you will ask that, what was I trying to prove? What was I trying to show? What was I trying to make them see? What did I want them to know? Now, what happens there is you tap into the little one in you, or some of the little ones in you that have been suffering unseen. And all you got to do is close your eyes and give her or him a big, juicy hug and say, honey, you don't have to show anybody you're smart. You don't have to. I know we used to do that. We did. We don't have to do that anymore. So breathe, hug, let it move. I wanted those people to know how smart I was. And let me tell you something. If it comforts anybody or doesn't, whatever, I'm going to tell you right now. I'd say that up until maybe 5 or 6 years ago, probably 85% of the words that came out of my mouth was a desperate attempt to try to let people know how smart I was. Because see, when your dad tells you how fucking stupid you are, all you want to do is show him that you're not. And the thing is that you forget that when you leave the house, you keep trying to convince dad. But you ain't with dad no more. You're with him and her and them, and you're still doing it. So becoming aware, shining the light into that place with these questions brings you to the place of being aware of it, at which point you'll realize you don't need to do it anymore. Don't hold that in. A couple people right now got some emotion. Oh, I'm going to get to the next part. No, feel that. Are you kidding? Okay, so I know I'm going to move into this big, far-reaching theme in a couple of minutes. I just want to check. Anybody else got a real pressing question that you really, 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 really want to ask? I'm not making one question better than another. I'm just like, you know, it's easy to have something that's kind of half-ass. I mean, like, really. Because what I'm going to do in a few minutes is going to handle much of it anyway. Just want to see. I'm watching. Thank you for crying. I was waiting. Just one person just finally let it go. I was waiting for that. Feel it. Let it go. We all were shown we weren't good enough. We weren't pretty enough. We weren't smart enough. We weren't sexy enough. We weren't funny enough. We weren't enough. And we've spent the rest of our lives trying to convince everybody, including ourselves, that we were. And boy, that just offends the fuck out of everybody. Like, oh, why is he so? And they don't have any clue about it because they're dealing with the same feelings themselves. They can't let themselves see or they'd feel those feelings. All right, V, I'm going to unmute you.
I don't know if it works.
I did it. It worked.
Can you hear me?
Yep. How do I not prove myself with my divorce? That was like a question that an alien asked backwards. So I don't quite grasp it, and I'm willing to. So
9 o'clock tonight is my deadline. I've been not inspired to put together what the court is asking me in Germany to do with my divorce. And as of today, I finally, after 4 years, found the paperwork that proves the lies that were told against me. And now I'm all morning I was like, I choose peace, I choose peace, I choose peace. But there's something in me that really wants him to be proven wrong and be right.
okay. So feel that. Feel that. So feel the part of you that there's logic and then there's just emotion. So first, feel the emotion of wanting to be right and wanting to prove you're right. Go ahead and close your eyes and feel it. No, I guarantee you nobody here has any feeling like that ever on anything with anybody. So everybody just going, that need to be right, that need to show them you're right. God damn it, to fucking be right. Breathe deep while you feel it. Yeah. Just want them to see I'm right. They were so unfair to me. Now, obviously, I can tell you a few things, but they won't do any good until you feel that. So feel it. Let yourself distill all the story and drop all the details, feeling sad and feeling a need to make them see that I am right.
I'm afraid. There's fear in that. Not being right is fear. Makes me I feel afraid.
Thank you. You feel afraid. So feel the fear. All right. If I don't show them that I'm right, if they think I'm wrong, they're going to punish me and they're going to withhold their love and I'm going to die. So feel that. The little girl is absolutely correct. You know, she's right. She learned it and she is totally right. If I'm not right, they're going to withhold their love. They're going to punish me. And when they withhold their love, I mean, what if they don't feed me? What if they kick me out of the house? What if I lose everything? So let yourself feel it. Feel through your body. Big inhales. Emotion rides out on the exhales. If I am not right, if I'm wrong, I'm not going to be loved. If I'm not loved, I'm going to be punished and maybe cut off. I'm going to die. If I'm not right, I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm not going to be loved. And if I'm not loved, I'm going to die. Breathe. Those of you that are biting your lip and holding your shoulders up high, let that shit go. If I don't show them that I'm right, they're going to think I'm wrong. And if they think I'm wrong, they're not going to love me. And if they don't love me, I'm going to die. It is that simple to that child. It is that simple to that child. You say, well, it doesn't make any sense. So you're trying to think through it. Doesn't work. I need these people. So everybody, look at your situation right now. You can understand V's dealing with divorce. So there's so many feelings of a so-called broken relationship where there was love and kindness, and now there's this meanness and all this other stuff. Now, there's also a legal system involved. There's evidence and proof and all this other bullshit. Can you and will you consider the possibility that perhaps you, when you were little and you learned how unfair life was with mommy and daddy and brother and sister, that you might have, when you learned all those rules and all that unfairness, is it possible that the entire judicial system of the entire planet, the justice world, is so insanely unfair and unjust because it's only and always a mirror of the unfairness that you're convinced life is from early childhood? So maybe we created a giant, scary justice system that looks like it's bigger than us, that's threatening to us, because that's exactly how mom and dad looked to the little one. Ooh. Don't think so hard. Feel. I'm not just talking to you, V. I'm talking to you. I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to you. Stop thinking and chewing on your lip and contemplating and feel. So the feeling of wanting them to see that I'm right, wanting to be vindicated, is actually wanting to show mommy and daddy. And it's okay. The funny thing is, when you realize that, you actually become partially sane again. Those of you who had perfectly fair mom and dad all the time, just get the hell out right now. Don't be messing up our call with your happiness. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, unfairness. And then my ex-husband, how unfair. He was so kind and so loving and told me he would love me and take care of me. And now he's like trying to do this shit to me. Wait, that's exactly like mom and dad. Exactly like mom and dad. I didn't make the connection. There it is. In fact, frankly, I don't even know if this sadness that I feel right now is actually about this divorce at all. This is the sadness from when I was fucking 2. And they told me yes, but then they said no, and they blamed me for something I didn't even do. Ain't it, V? Yeah, and now you're finally feeling it. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that this whole justice system and this whole thing with that asshole husband was actually a giant gift to give me the chance to finally feel these feelings that I've been avoiding since I was 2? Yep, that's what I'm saying. Wow. This could lead to, once I get through all these feelings, I might actually be grateful for the whole damn experience.
I want to be.
Yeah, and come out of this on a level of empowerment and clarity, knowing that I can create the relationships I actually want. So go through these feelings, breathing deep, tuning in. I invite everybody to make the most of this right now by feeling the unfairness in your life. A few are. Feel the unfairness in your life. Feel the unfairness in your life. Feel how he treats you. Feel how he tells you that you're wrong and then won't listen. Feel how she makes fun of you and won't listen. Feel how those motherfuckers are taking X% of your goddamn fucking money every week so unfairly. And then tune in to the feelings. Tune into the feelings. How unfair. And it's not just unfair, it's life-threatening. And we carry that feeling long enough, and it's just a matter of time before it makes a divorce or a super abusive boss at work or some legal trouble, some authority. It's being unfair. So as a child, the most important thing we could do, the most important thing that we could have ever done would have been to feel these feelings fully. But guess what? Mom and dad said, nope, not going to let you do that. Choke that shit down. Just feelings, stuff them down. And that's what we did, most of us. Now here we are, feeling them now, literally creating nightmare disasters of huge scope in our lives to feel the feelings now that we didn't feel then, because those feelings got to come up and out. It's not negotiable. Those feelings have got to come up and out. So V, now when you think that and then you look at your husband and then you look at the court system, it looks so different. This was a situation that I created in order to finally feel these feelings that I've been avoiding for decades. And they were going to eat me up and kill me if I didn't feel them and get them up and out. And as you notice, those big, powerful inhales are letting the emotion ride right out on the exhales. So, V, I said something near the beginning of this. I said, when there's something that we do want, and it's mixed up with things that we don't want, we're going to be frustrated. Exactly. And you've been so frustrated, you didn't even want to deal with this shit. I did not feel inspired to do this. In other words, fuck no. fuck no, I'm not going to do that. And now when this session's over, look at the clarity. Already it's arising. The peace is, the peace that was underneath this the whole time. You couldn't access it because all this emotion was between you and that. Now, though, I'm happy to provide this evidence. I'm just going to show them it's kind of fucking funny. Isn't it? I'm going to show them because there's an opportunity here, a request for proof, an opportunity for proof. I don't need to show mommy and daddy that I'm not a stupid, worthless piece of fucking shit in this courtroom. That's not actually what's happening here. God damn, it felt like it, didn't it? No, I felt it. I felt it. You get that, Renita? It didn't feel like it. I felt it. Actually, I didn't even feel that. What I actually felt was really sad and scared that I wasn't safe. That's what I felt. And if I had to provide that evidence in order to make myself safe, I better do it right. Or I'm gonna get fucked up. It's like I'm reading your mail, ain't it, V?
Yeah.
So feel what it's like now as all that emotion just sails out on the breath. Everything's turning back into infinite possibilities again. And you get to provide evidence of your position. And it's not a little child trying to prove something so she can survive. Wow. So I want you to say out loud, V, if you will. I want you to say out loud, I have to show them that I'm right.
I have to show them that I'm right.
And feel that. And feel all the energy of it. Everybody just do that one for a minute. Everybody, you got somebody in your life, some kind of situation. I want you to just feel it and say out loud, I've got to show them that I'm right.
I've got to show them that.
And feel all the feelings that come up with that. Now make sure you're taking big inhales, V.
My nose is plugged.
That's all right. You can breathe in through your mouth when you must. Okay, now say out loud, I get to show them that I am accurate.
I get to show them that I'm accurate.
Feel the difference. Now say, I've got to show them that I'm right.
I'm going to show them that I'm right.
And now say, I get to show them that I am accurate.
I get to show them that I'm accurate.
What kind of difference is there between those two statements as far as how you feel, V?
The second one gives me more balance.
You feel more balanced when you say the second one?
Yes.
What do you feel when you say the first one?
Victimish.
That's right, victimish. Victimish. Victim as shit, actually. Okay, so when I say I've got to show them I'm right, I've got to show them I'm right, it's a life or death thing. I got to show them, and that's what you were feeling. And now, just one last time, I get to show them the evidence that I'm accurate.
I get to show them the evidence that I'm accurate.
That I didn't do what I'm accused of.
That I didn't do what I'm accused of.
And there's that little girl. So just feel her through a few more deep breaths. Anybody finding this to be a waste of time, or is this relevant to you too? Interesting how that always works, isn't it? You know that person at work that always, even when you change jobs, there's always that person at work who always tries to. You get a new boyfriend or girlfriend, the way they always end up kind of pushing you in that way. None of that was ever happening. It's feelings inside of you from early childhood that you didn't breathe up and out and feel completely. And it will create larger and larger. V, I bet $1 million that if you were to pull out a pen and paper and you were to really sit and give yourself a few hours to contemplate, you'd be able to come up with a minimum of 5 situations that you have found yourself in over the years where you had this exact same emotional feeling, though you would have very different mental stories about what was causing it. Now, everybody, please get that. I don't know if you see her nodding her head or not, but just listen to me. 5 or more situations in her life where she felt the exact same feeling, but she was certain it was being caused by something different. Got that, Tracy? It's the same feeling, y'all. It's the same sadness. It's just fucking sadness. It's the same fear. It's just fucking fear. You know, I'm afraid that da-da-da-da-da. No, you're not. No, you're not. It is a possibility that X might happen, and you have fear, but you are the one who made them into one thing that they aren't. And that's why trying to solve that problem doesn't handle the feeling and make life change. Oh. So, everybody close your eyes. Here's our theme. I'm going to mute you, V. I'm still with you, of course. All right. Everybody, eyes closed. Relax. I want you to think of everything you need someone to do. I need them to understand that I didn't need them to love me. I need them to accept me. I need them to know that I didn't do that thing. I need them to understand me. I need them to stop assuming things about me. Start asking me questions. I need them to stop asking so many goddamn questions. I need them to need me. Everything that you could possibly imagine, I need someone to blank. So every person, pick a person. I need them to blank. 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 And then everybody, I need everybody to know that I'm worthy. I need for people to like me. I need to be accepted. I need fairness. So I want you to feel the pain and the frustration of I need people to blank. And just give me a nod. Who's starting to get something? Give me a little nod if you're starting to get something. It might be people. It might be very generic. It might be everybody. It might be, we might have one person. What I want you to do is I want you to bring up the greatest frustration, anger, sadness, and fear, the greatest frustration, and I want you to put it under, I need people to, and put that in quotation marks. You got it? I need people to. Is there anybody who ain't got one? I'm looking, I'm checking it. Anybody ain't got one? Everybody got one. Everybody got at least one. I need people to. For you, it really might be, I need him to. It might be, that might be the main one. Then put that under, I need people to. There it is. I need people to value me. I need people to listen to me. I need people to understand me. I need people to just not, I need people to stop telling me that I'm wrong. I need people to respect me. I need people to honor me. I need people to blank. In quotation marks, I need people to blank. Feel all the discomfort of it. As much as you can, bring that intensity up. I need people to blank. And eyes closed. Say it out loud. I retrieve all of my energies. Bound up in I need people to blank. And I take all those energies back to the perfect place in myself. Feel everything that moves through your chest and your shoulders and your neck. Feel everything. Now, along the way, you had people that hooked your attention from early childhood. Grandma tried to teach you that blah, 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 blah. Maybe grandpa tried to convince you, persuade you. They had religious beliefs that they really wanted you to adopt. And every grown-up and brother and sister, everybody that was in your, even school friends, especially your parents, people who felt like they needed something from you, they did everything they could possibly do to convince you that in order to get their love and approval, you would have to do X, Y, Z. So they very, very, very intentionally, though sometimes it was unconscious of them, they were trying to convince you that you had to do it a certain way. In other words, if you would go to church with them, you would get the reward, you would get the cookie, right? If you would pretend to go along with their bullshit, they would reward you and take you on a date, buy you a hot chocolate. Say, ooh, this is good. I like this. I will be good from now. They convince you that was being good. If you really get right down to it, you look back at mom and dad to some extent, or grandma, being good meant doing what they wanted, didn't it? That's my good girl doing exactly what I want. Well, I don't think that's the definition of good. Not that I know what the definition of good is. And you felt like you needed them to approve of you. You felt like you needed them to take care of you. You needed them to like you, to praise you. So look at how many people played a role in what you learned about I need people to. Some far-reaching shit, ain't it? So let's do it out loud. I remove all non-me energies related to I need people to blank. From all my cells, from all of my bodies, from my personal space. And I send all those energies back to their origins with love. No wrong, no bad. I just let it go. Love you. Go back to where you came from. Don't need you no more. I'm ready to experience harmony and love and autonomy, myself, as the infinite being that I am. Even, when I look at that, letting all those energies, all those non-me energies go, to be quite honest, I don't even need anybody to keep the electricity on at my house. I don't need it. I could just die. I don't need food. I could just die in this body. I'll keep right on living forever. I'm infinite, unlimited. Ultimately, I don't need anything. I only could say I need X if I'm going to stay in a body alive. You get that? Will you let yourself really get that? When you get that if you swat a fly and kill it while it's flying, it doesn't even know you killed it. It just keeps on flying. I'm telling you, so do you, baby. So do you. If a bomb dropped out of the sky right now and obliterated your house, you would keep right on flying. Mark my words. So you don't actually need anything. You could say, if I want to keep my job, I need to go in tomorrow morning because they told me one more day and I'm out of there. You see the difference? If I'm going to have X, I need to blank. If I'm going to have Y, I need to QRS. Changes the whole need to thing utterly, totally, and completely. We actually get to use it consciously now. How many things in my life have I need to, not just about other people, but I need. No, you don't. So now you could ask the question, what do I really need anyone to do? All right. So being that when you were little, I'm talking only to you, when you were little, and you learned all those need tos, and you picked them up and you carried them. And then you forgot that you picked those up and you were carrying them. You thought they were chasing you around. So you felt that feeling, V, and you were able to manufacture a divorce. And not just him accusing you of shit, but then you got to prove to them, dude, like, oh my God, this is impossible. It just seems like too much. Exactly the way mom and dad seemed when you were that little. So if you can do that, then how many other areas have you been doing? In other words, what if this divorce is nothing more and nothing less than a reaction to, I need people to know that I'm right? What if the whole divorce is nothing but a reaction to, I need to show them that I'm innocent? I didn't do it. Because when I was 2, mom came around the corner. My 5-year-old brother had just broken this thing and ran out of the room. I'm the one standing there holding the piece of it because I was curious about what it is. They beat the shit out of me and I've never recovered. So I've spent the rest of my life creating situations in which I could feel unfairly accused and unable to prove my innocence. Somebody tell me that ain't some profound shit right there. Could we be doing that, y'all? Anybody that says, yeah, give me a little nod. We'll just stay right in the experience. So let's be honest and aware then. Let's realize that we might have created more in our life that is actually reactions to I need people to than we ever dreamed. Eyes closed, breathing deep. Let yourself get this. So I wonder how much of all the things I've ever done in my life were actually a reaction to, I need people to. I wonder how much of the stuff I actually didn't do, all the things I avoided that were actually just a reaction to, I need people to. I wonder how many of the things I've said and not said, conscious and unconscious, were actually responses to, I need people to. Whew. I wonder how many of the habitual cyclical thoughts running through my head at 4 a.m., laying in bed, unable to sleep, worrying, fretting, stressing, and blaming and accusing and running my goddamn story. I wonder how much of that was actually reactions to, I need people to. Whew. Breathe deep. Let the light go all the way down into those places where nobody don't never look. Make an implicit explicit. And out loud, if you will, I retrieve all of my energies, bound up in all my reactions to, I need people to blank. And I take all those energies back to the perfect place in my true self. Just feel that relief. Ooh, notice what you're feeling now. Notice everything you're feeling. So, last and definitely not least, living decades of doing this crazy shit we've been doing, it would be easy for us to think that there might be some kind of price to pay for what we've been doing. Like we've built so much momentum with all of this crap. Maybe even if we clear it today on this session, maybe there's momentum that will carry into the future. Maybe there'll still be a price to pay. Maybe there's going to be some consequences to fear. Maybe there's going to be, who knows, some punishment. Maybe God's pissed at us. And so, out loud, I retrieve all of my energies, bound up in ideas of consequences, punishments, unpleasant outcomes, and inevitabilities related to, I need people to blank. And I take all those energies back to the perfect place in my true self. Now let the magic of the mirror just bring this realization, and nobody needs me to do a damn thing either. Let your mind realize all the channels that you might have been sending energy out through approval, having them like me, having them accept me, because I certainly needed them to accept me. Take care of me, like me. Feel it all completely coming apart. I'm going to add a supercharger onto this. So let's just do this one out loud, just for fun, I don't need to explain a damn thing to anybody about anything. I don't need to explain a damn thing to anybody about anything. If you want to, you could even say it like you mean it. I don't need to explain a damn thing to any damn buddy about any damn thing. And you might feel some adult standing over you. Well, tell me. No, I don't have to explain a damn thing. Go ahead and beat the fuck out of me. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. Now, guess what? That don't mean we have to go into opposition, does it? Because you might find yourself in a situation where you would love to tell somebody, explain something to somebody about them. The reason I did that was because, but you're not doing it from need to anymore. So you don't need their response to be any certain way, do you? Nope. Here you thought you needed people's response to be X, Y, Z. So every time you did anything, you did it in that way that guaranteed that they would respond the opposite way. All right. Executive decision here. Everybody stay right where you are, breathe in just the way you are. I'm going to wrap this up right here where we are. And I'm going to encourage you to rest in this a bit. You do not need to pull out of the session just because I clicked the little red button. You don't have to. Breathe, feel, be curious, be open. Let your mind reveal to you other things related. Why not let this expand even further and deepen even further and stabilize so that literally you wake up tomorrow morning in a different universe? Because that's always the case anyway. Feel what it's like to simply provide the evidence and let the chips fall where they may. And now you can do it with presence rather than fear of survival. Now, when someone asks a question, you can look at them and say, forgive me, I just want to make sure you really want me to answer that. I love you. You're perfect. Never was anything wrong with you. Never can be anything wrong with you.